Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to go over a few things with you today, 4 things specifically. The first thing is hero submissions for a modded Darkest Dungeon campaign. I'd like to invite you to my Hamlet to hopefully survive. I'd like to talk about my Twitch schedule and my VOD uploads. I want to talk to you about upcoming YouTube specific playthroughs. And lastly, I want to seek some feedback from you guys. I would really appreciate hearing from you. I'm not going to make this a long video because I respect your time and I know you're all super busy citizens doing super important things all across the world. Very cool stuff. I'm going to try not to waste your time here. First things first, with Darkest Dungeon 2 being announced last year, it really kind of set a fire under me to want to finish a Darkest Dungeon campaign. I've played it a lot on stream, but I always got distracted with other releases. There's not a ton of releases right now and for quite a while. So I kind of figure like this is the perfect time to tackle a modded Darkest Dungeon campaign. So that run is going to start Saturday, February 8th. And this is where you come in. So similar to XCOM, I'd like you guys to submit a hero to join our Hamlet in Darkest Dungeon. If you've never played it or you're not familiar with the game, I've linked a tutorial in the description that you can follow. It's really well made. It's easy to follow. And I think it'll get you guys up to speed very easily. I'm also going to include a link to the wiki and the mod list that I'm planning on using. The mod list adds a bunch of really cool new classes that I've had a chance to experiment with. And all the ones I've selected, I really enjoy. There's really cool new enemies. A lot of them are situated mostly in the ruins area. If you're familiar with the game, you'll understand where that is. And there even is a whole new area that's been added in. So previous DLC added Color of Madness and added the Crimson Court, which are 2 different areas. But now there's a mod that it's made its whole deal, its own area, which is really cool. It's called the Sunward Isles. And I think you guys are really going to like it. So to submit a character, just check the description down below. It'll be the first link that's down there, and fill out the Google form. I set it up to be pretty straightforward and easy to do. You're just going to provide some basic character info, 3 classes that you'd like to be with a first, second, or third preference, a short character bio, and boom, you're eligible. You don't need to do any character design. I'm just going to wing that. I'm going to try to make everybody look a little bit different. We might have some classes that overlap at sometimes. We'll give you guys unique looks, but you don't have to like create a specific look for your character or anything. I'll handle that part. Now, Darkest Dungeon can be pretty unforgiving, so I'm expecting deaths on the regular, and I imagine we're going to be able to get quite a few people in. I'm going to be reviewing the bios before just throwing them into the campaign, so please ensure that you're following the rules outlined in the form, and if you're like, I don't know if I should include this, might be a bit over the top or whatever, just err on the side of caution, or reach out to me and I'll try to answer that for you. I'm also going to be reading journal excerpts during mission loads, similar to how we do it in XCOM. I love doing that. It helps me get to know the characters a lot more. It gives the audience somebody to root for and somebody to cheer for, or maybe somebody to hate even sometimes, which is not such a bad thing. So if we can kind of work that formula into this campaign, I think it would be really cool to make Darkest Dungeon a longer running thing, but let's just get through one together and see how it goes. Anyways, get your heroes submitted, and I'm going to be drawing from them randomly, trying to respect the preferences for class where I can. The Patreon tier for XCOM soldiers are going to have a higher pick rate as a thank you for supporting me. But anybody can and anybody will get in, so it's open to everybody. Okay, next up. I'm going to continue to post my Twitch VODs to YouTube when I'm certain that it's a game that I'm going to be playing in full. And I'm going to continue to try and balance out what to play on YouTube versus what I play on Twitch. Currently, my Twitch schedule is pretty minimal. I stream Saturdays and Sundays for like 3 to 4 hours. Some games just make a lot of sense to play on Twitch, especially games that are older, not the cool new release that everybody's looking for on YouTube. Things that I maybe just want to kind of try out. And some of those catch me by surprise. Doom is a good example of that. You'll see VODs of that shortly. But based on the feedback that you guys gave me last year, I always include VOD in the title now. So at the end of the title, it'll say VOD. And I've been recording local copies of the playthroughs without face cam, no alerts, And I think that's gone over fairly well. I do think that some games actually benefit from having the face cam, so it's kind of a judgment call there. But I think overall for my audience, I think you guys tend to prefer not having the face cam, which is totally cool. And if you're thinking, oh, you know, I have some other thoughts about the channel that I'd like to share, I have that coming up at the end, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, some of that posting of the VODs was based on your feedback, so I appreciate you guys giving me that, and I try to use as much of your feedback as I can. So what's next for exclusive YouTube playthroughs? I just want to say first things first here, okay? My priority is YouTube content first, Twitch content second. That's how it always has been. That's how it always is. You might be looking right now and you're saying, oh, well, there's all these VODs being uploaded. And that's just because there hasn't been a ton of releases coming out. So I've been playing these releases that came out a while ago, Star Wars, Doom, and putting those VODs up. When new games come out, we'll talk about that in a second here. The priority is usually going to be YouTube. So in February, the only new release that looks remotely interesting to me is called The Suicide of Rachel Foster. But I want to try it out before committing to a full playthrough. It might be boring. I don't know, but it might have a really cool story too, which is always kind of the hunt for me. I'm always looking for that. Ori and the Will of the Wisps releases March 11th. And I'd really like to play through Ori and the Blind Forest on YouTube and just dedicate my full attention to that. I tried it during my 30 games in 30 days challenge last year, and it's been on my mind ever since. So you can look for that to start on the channel relatively soon, certainly before the release of Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Doom Eternal is releasing March 20th, and I recently fell in love with Doom. Like, I will 100% be playing Doom Eternal. I'm open to feedback on whether to do that on YouTube or Twitch, because there's a lot of like shooty, less story-based stuff, so it's nice to have a live audience to chat with. Maybe after you check out some of the Doom Twitch VODs that I'll be posting, maybe understand why it's a good fit for live streaming. But let me just say this. For anybody that hasn't played Doom, man, even if you're not typically putting yourself as like an FPS player or a first-person shooter, this game is just so good. The music is so good. I could talk about this game for hours. I'm not going to, but it's exceptional. And I'm going to tell everybody I know to play it because it's really good. Also, I'm considering a Disco Elysium playthrough for YouTube. I've gotten more questions about this game than a lot of games that have released. When it first released, I looked at it and I was like, you know, I'm just a bit worried that it's too text heavy. I tried streaming a little bit and it was a lot of text. And so for live streaming, it's too much. But I think if I do it on YouTube, it might be a really, really excellent playthrough that I could get behind and like be pumped about, you know? Because there's not a lot of releases happening, I could probably put extra energy into it and just make it something really special. There's like a few story-based games on my channel that I'm extremely proud of, and I kind of feel like Disco Elysium could be in that group also if I go into it with the right mindset. So let me know what you think about all of that stuff. Lastly, I'd really like to hear your feedback on the channel as a whole. I really would. If you're one of those types that you're kind of like pop in and out of the channel, or this video maybe caught your attention, you haven't been around for a while, I'd really like to hear from you. If you're here all the time, I think you have a lot of value to add to this as well. So pretty much anybody that's seeing this, I would appreciate hearing some feedback. Just a couple of things off the top of my head that I would be curious about, and you can just write it in long form, wherever, like in the YouTube comments. I'll have a form link in the description as well for feedback, and I would just love to hear from you. I think it would be great. Some of the things off the top of my head: why do you watch the channel? What do you want more of on the channel, and why specifically? What improvements do you think that I could make that would bring you back to watch more frequently? I know, at least I feel, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel as if my audience is a very game specific, or maybe genre specific is a better descriptor, where, you know, I love a game like XCOM, right? Which I think probably the majority of subscribers are from that world. But then I love games like We Happy Few or BioShock or The Witcher with like really engrossing storylines that I can really get behind. And there's these two different groups, and I would love to like merge them all and just say, hey, guys, it'd be great if you just watched everything I put out, you know? That would be amazing. That's obviously not going to happen. I put out a lot of content people can't keep up. But that kind of stuff I would really like to hear. So what things could I improve and how? Another thing is, this comes up from time to time. I do get regular suggestions or questions about this, but if you guys would be interested in seeing more quote-unquote personal videos from me, vlogs or like kind of behind the scenes stuff, just to vary things up a bit. Aram and I have a lot going on this year, and it might be fun to bring you guys along for some of the stuff that we're going to be dealing with. We recently got a new puppy. We're house hunting right now, so we're going to have to find a new house and move. I'm going to need to rebuild my gaming setup in a new place. Just kind of like spitballing some ideas here, but yeah, let me know. I'd be open to hearing any of your feedback. These are just some of the suggestions that I thought of to kind of put you in the right direction. I'll have a link in the description for you to provide that, or you can use the comment section. Sometimes YouTube blocks like super long comments, so whatever you want to do is fine, but I would love to hear it if you would be open to spending a few minutes giving me that feedback. All right, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for the continued support, and thanks for allowing me to do this for a living. I've been doing this full time now for the last 2 years, and it's been absolutely incredible for mostly my mental health, but it's also just very liberating to be able to just run your own company, do your own thing, and experience this at some point in my life. I'm really happy that I've been able to do it. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. I obviously want to continue to grow the channel with you guys in 2020 and going forward. So thank you so much for the love, and we will see you guys next time.